best way for you to start gaslighting yourself is to continue to deal with somebody who does gaslight themselves. Now, that's for those of y'all who are coming in. Actually, y'all are watching the replay. But for those who are watching this live, let me give you a little backstory. So, I was on a Self-Crime VIP live chat recently, and one of my members asked me, how does she know when a guy's gaslighting versus whenever he genuinely just has a difference of opinion or perspective on something that happened? Matter of fact, they already got the education on what gaslighting is. Some of y'all may not. Gaslighting is essentially when a person tries to attack you on a fundamental level, mentally, in your ability to perceive reality or to perceive or validate your own emotions. They'll invalidate you, they call you crazy, say you tripping, they'll twist things around, they'll project onto you. So when a person is doing that, what they're trying to do is erode your ability to perceive reality or erode your confidence in you standing up for what it is you just witnessed and how you experienced that. So I don't want this to get used the wrong way when we talk about gaslighting. Not everything is going to be gaslighting, guys. There are some times when a person just says, you know what, this is how I feel about it, even though I know that's not necessarily what happened. Or I can't confirm that that happened, but this is how I experienced it. When a person talks like that, that's not gaslighting. That's not gaslighting. But when a person takes what you say, twist it around, tweak little details, implicate things that you never said, twist around your words, and stand firm on that. Or as you're bringing up your feelings, they make the conversation about something completely unrelated. So now it's distracting from your feelings and making your feelings invalid in the conversation, like not holding space on purpose for the way that you feel about something that they did to you. That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. If you ever got told, and sometimes it's not intentional, guys, and I'll tell you how to spot it regardless. But if you ever got told, like, man, you tripping, and I'm not talking about when you literally went and soaked his clothes with kerosene and lit it on fire, like you might have been tripping then. But if you try to address something and how you feel, and immediately it's mischaracterized as arguing, stress, or you tripping, that's gaslighting. That's a way to take away your confidence and take away the validation of what you feel. So, quick review before we get back to the backstory. If you're talking to somebody, there's a disagreement. And say it's a past event, y'all was at dinner and you felt like he was flirting with the waitress, right? And he says, you say, hey, the way that you talk to that waitress, I feel like it blurred some lines, maybe even crossed the line. A lot of eye contact, that compliment about how she looked, the way that you drug your eyes from her eyes down to her breast, down to her butt, especially as she walked away. Thought it was a bit much. And he says, what you mean? You tripping. Here you go, your insecurities. He's turning things around on you. That's gaslighting, because instead of holding space for your feelings, even though those are objective things that you mentioned, you're not accusing him, you're letting him know what you perceive from an objective reality, right? That's gaslighting because he's invalidating your feelings. He's turning it around on you. He's absolving himself immediately. So back to what I was saying. I know y'all like, dang, but yeah. So the young lady asked, how do you know the difference? First off, let me tell you something. If a person gaslights themselves, if a person BS's themselves, you know they're going to BS you. If you got a dude, ladies, and this goes both ways, but ladies, if you got a man who he can't keep it real with himself, meaning you ask him to recap situations and it's always he's the victim, or you just look at the situation, you're not telling yourself the truth. Even as you just perceive this, it's not even a gaslight. Objective things are being turned around or left out of this story. Even as you receive this yourself, he's going to lie to you. Even though in his heart of hearts, he's going to try to keep it real with you. He's never going to tell you how it is. He's only going to tell you how he sees things. So when a person is lying to themselves, that's one of the first, actually, that's the major red flag that they're going to lie to you. And two things are going to happen if you continue dealing with this type of person. First off, you're going to waste your time, probably years, because it's going to be so weird to you that something happened. Both of y'all saw the exact same situation. You came up on the room, you heard that man talking on the phone. He said, all right, whoa, I think she's coming. Let me call you back. Click. You walk in, and he swears he wasn't talking to anybody. Oh, was I talking to somebody, or was that you just seeing my phone on the bed and you assumed I was talking to somebody? So you know what just happened. But then whenever he turns it around on you, it's not always because he's trying to intentionally do something wrong. Some people have such a fragile ego. They're so sensitive to any negative emotion, especially shame. They can't take criticism. The moment that they do something wrong, they've already trained their brain to work things around to where they're not wrong. Even if it's a complete lie, complete fantasy. And when you stay in the presence of that person, you're going up against a long-held pattern that came long before you came along. So one, you're going to waste time. You're not going to win that battle. Secondly, what's going to happen is you're going to start gaslighting yourself in a bit of a different way. Now, what does gaslighting yourself look like? Gaslighting yourself is whenever you experience something and then that outer voice of his gaslighting becomes your inner voice now. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I'm looking too much into things. Maybe I'm just tripping. Put I down in the chat if you've ever gotten there. You are gaslighting yourself. It doesn't make you a bad person, but you need to change that. If you start invalidating your feelings as a way to tolerate the gaslighting, the narcissistic abuse, the manipulation that you've been subject to, now you're becoming a co-conspirator of your own mental abuse and emotional abuse. And that comes from being with somebody who taught you how to gaslight yourself. So if he's handling conflict in any other way than, okay, I hear you, I may not understand or necessarily agree, but I'm not going to invalidate you. And he ain't got to say those exact words. But if his demeanor, if his heart's posture is opposite to that, you're in danger. If he handles things by saying his objective or his perspective is the only right way to see things, and I'm talking about the subjective meaning he gives to the objective situation that happened, like there are facts and then there are feelings. And if that's the only way he's allowing you to see things, you're in danger of becoming somebody who gaslights themselves. And so you have to be very vigilant, because whenever you allow somebody in that emotional proximity, meaning you love them, they have more authority to affect how you see yourself, how you think, your inner voice. That's just how it goes. You trust them, you let them into your heart. They now have the proximity to rework things in your heart and have you hurting yourself if you stay in the wrong person's presence too long. But you know what? That same rule works conversely as well. When you deal with an evolved man, a healthy man who's done the work, he can also evoke healing where it wasn't before. He can also help you normalize healthy ways of dealing with conflict. He can help you not just undo that, because you really need to do your work as well. But for those of y'all who have done the work and are currently doing the work, when you come across an evolved man, he helps take everything that you're already working on to get to your full potential to the next level, so that the potential you actually reach is higher than what you even conceived before meeting him. Now, if you feel like you're not coming across guys who have prioritized that type of work, they haven't done that type of work, you have to use the strategies that attract those type of men. And there are very specific ways that you attract an evolved man. A lot of people don't know that's why they continue the pattern of dealing with men who are not equally yoked with them on a mental and emotional level. So if that's you, if you're coming across those guys who are not on your level, click the link that you see pinned down here, right here in the comments. Click that link and get access to the free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. That's why I break down the strategies. I did over an hour in that masterclass. And again, it's free, so get access now before that comes down, because it's going to fill up soon. But back to what I was saying, if you stay in the presence of somebody who gaslights themselves, so they're always the hero or the victim of a story, they're never the villain. If you stay in the presence of somebody who avoids accountability, reproach, criticism, even constructive criticism at all costs, even the cost of your mental health, if you stay in the presence of that person, you're going to become a version of that person, a byproduct of that person. And they won't even have to gaslight you anymore, because you'll be doing it yourself. But those are just my thoughts. I'm just your internet brother trying to look out. So if you got something from this, bless somebody else on your timeline by pressing that share button. And if you're in the market for an evolved man, click the link that you see pinned down here, right here. Click that link. Go ahead, jump over there, get access to the free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. Over an hour-long free content that I dropped, and it's coming down soon. So I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.